This ain't Texas. We're here breaking it down, 5 differences between Denver and Texas. This ain't Texas.
If you're thinking of moving to Denver, this ain't Texas, inspired by Beyonce. We want to give all rights and credits to Beyonce because
This ain't Texas.
the song This Ain't Texas inspired it. I did a TikTok on it comparing homes in Texas versus homes in Colorado.
This ain't Texas.
Expectations of our clients
Actual
moving here.
pictures of them, right?
Actual pictures. So stay tuned to the end. I'm going to kind of show you the differences, but we're going to talk to you about differences between moving to Texas or Colorado.
Not only
from
has
Texas.
Beyonce inspired this video,
So much to inspire us.
but we've had a lot of clients. I would say we get a lot of people from California coming to Colorado, and a lot of people, especially within the last year and a half, coming from the great state of Texas.
What do you think our third most? Texas and California are the easiest ones.
Texas, California.
I would say
Florida?
I don't think a ton of Florida. I mean,
East
some.
Coast?
I was going to say like that Washington, Portland area.
Oh.
I don't know. It's kind of a
hodgepodge
of everyone
kind
else.
of a wash, but definitely California, Texas are the tops.
The tops.
This ain't Texas. So, we are going to cover 5 different things in this video. We're going to cover, obviously, the weather. We're going to cover lifestyle, homes and land, taxes, and the population. So I think it's only fair we start out with weather.
All right, let's do it. So weather. Right now, today is it's March. I get confused by months.
12th.
March 12th. It is going to be like 65. It's 9 a.m. in the morning and it's beautiful out right now. No wind, which is nice for this time of year. And then tomorrow it's supposed to snow. Kayleen says 2 feet in Denver.
2 feet in Denver is.
I don't know.
Yep,
We'll have to
what
see.
The news is
It's
saying.
never snowed 2 feet in
and
Denver.
I have to say our
Well, not
news
ever.
anchors.
It's like
are
a drama.
not like my daughter who lives in North Carolina right now, she said when the news anchors actually say something here, it actually happens. Colorado, I think because
you're gonna have them reach out to you. They're gonna get mad at you.
Well, I have a cousin who's a news anchor.
Oh,
in
okay.
Denver.
They'll defend you.
No, but I do think that we have such different weather day to day. It's probably a lot harder to predict.
Oh yeah.
And with all of the cold fronts and
it
stuff
comes over
coming
those
down
Rockies.
the mountain range, and you just kind of don't know. You have to be prepared for a little bit of everything. Like in the back of my car, because it is baseball season, I have a bag for baseball games, anywhere from an umbrella if there's possibly rain to multiple blankets and hand warmers and hats to then a sunshade. Because you just don't know.
I just bought a new double pod for baseball games because you never know.
You got one?
I got a double one. I got a single, but I couldn't figure out how to fold it. Anyways, so you never know what you're going to get here. And but you talk about you're going to have 4 seasons. So coming from Texas, some people aren't used to that. You're going to have where it is going to be winter and it's going to snow. But then the nice thing is so it snowed last week and then it melted the next day.
Well, and
people don't realize that when they're coming to Colorado along that front range, like where Denver is, because the mountains, the snow stays. In Denver, along that front range, it melts between snowstorms.
Well, and one thing with the 4 seasons I want to point out, and some people may understand this, some people don't, is that we do, because there's 4 seasons, we have a dormant season where all of the grass and all of this behind us is more yellow. It's not that evergreen. If you have pine trees or juniper shrubs or something, that'll stay that typical, like what I think most people think Colorado green is. But this time of year on the front range, we do get that snow. It does melt away, and then everything's kind of yellow and dormant until maybe end of April, beginning of May. Then it starts to get like a light green spring, and then by June, you're definitely full-blown
Someone commented on one of my latest TikToks. They're like, why is it so yellow and brown?
It's true.
I'm like, it's winter here. We don't have snow all the time, but it's winter.
I remember we had a client come into town, and they're like, is everything dead here? No, it's just the dormant season. So the leaves will fill out. And it is kind of important when you're house hunting, because even if you're looking at backyards and maybe you want privacy, some of the trees are more like aspen trees or I don't know, even maple, cottonwoods, whatever. When you don't have the leaves on there, you don't get that privacy factor.
True. Yeah. No, and I love the weather here, but you have to want 4 seasons. I love the 4 seasons. I love knowing I can make soup tomorrow and it might snow. Although I do get over it this time of year. I'm like, let's just move to summer. But our summer here is nice because we don't have humidity. I don't like humidity. If you live in Texas, you better like humidity.
Well, and one thing I want to point out, which I thought was actually very interesting, in Texas, you actually get an average of 234 days of sunshine, which is actually pretty good.
Decent.
Well,
we'll give you a C+ rating.
Colorado knocks it out of the park. Another 60 days a year, nearly 2 months full of sunshine. We have over 300 days of sunshine in Colorado, which even if it's cooler without that humidity, add the sun, it doesn't feel like you would feel, 30 degrees in Texas.
And no bugs. That's what I love about this. I love going outside in the evenings or anytime and not having to swat different mosquitoes, or I don't know, you guys have some big bugs in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. I think your bugs are bigger too.
Now, with that being said, if you go over the mountains to where they do more ranching farming, where the ground is soaked in their standing water, you do get some, not your Minnesota mosquitoes, but there will be a little bit more bugs. But over here on the Front Range, we have hardly any. We're spoiled.
Yeah. So weather's different. Point number 1, be prepared for 4 seasons. But
one thing before we go off weather, I do want people to know in the springtime especially, Colorado, you will get some wind.
Yes, it comes off those Rockies.
The snow on those peaks behind us, as soon as that kind of goes away, typically the wind dies down. But some people have said, I didn't realize how much wind you get.
We do get wind.
If you're here in the spring, it can be kind of windy.
That's why I said today is beautiful because it's not windy. A lot of times when it's going to be 60, it's like 30-mile-per-hour winds, and you're like, oh, that sucks. So weather.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. Go.
This ain't Texas.
Oh, we need to go fast. We need to go because you want to go past it, right?
Yep. This ain't Texas.
It's not Texas. So we'll do another outtake of us singing later, but
that's a gift from me to you all.
So our second point is lifestyle. Very different lifestyle, I would say, between Colorado Springs and, well, anywhere in Texas. I know we're generalizing, but Colorado's very outdoorsy. I would think is not that you're not outdoorsy in Texas, but we have so many hiking, biking, skiing,
year-round.
Snowboarding, snowmobiling. I mean, it just goes on, and people love the outdoors here. Love.
So, with that being said, even if you are not an extreme outdoor enthusiast, there's plenty to do and most likely it's going to be in the outdoors. Even if you you aren't a big hiker or whatnot, you can even go. I just went the other weekend with my daughter to Garden of the Gods. It's an easy walk around. There's dirt trails, there's paved trails. It's not like extreme mountain hiking like you can do up at the incline, but I would say there's something for everyone kind of around here. You can go paddle boarding. Our lakes are not like Texas lakes though. They're little you can go
things.
Paddle boarding, you can go fishing. One thing we have is definitely the skiing, which I know in Texas you come over to Colorado to do the skiing. So we obviously have the skiing, snowboarding, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, all of those winter activities, snowmobiling. But I think that people get out and enjoy it more year-round because the weather's so tolerable.
Yeah.
We don't have that extreme humidity. Typically in the mornings, even in the summertime, you get like brisk air. It's great to like get up and go for a walk, go for a run. With that being said, if you're a morning person, same thing could be said for in the evening. During the middle of the day, it does tend to get, like, the sun's pretty intense in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
And so people will still be out and about, obviously. Maybe you go to a neighborhood pool or, villa. What else would there be? Like, there's different pools, but a lot of people are very active and outdoor, and you'll see that literally year-round. Even in a blizzard, people will be walking around.
It just becomes a part of the conversation. Like, even my husband and I got a drink at a brewery this weekend, which we like to do. There's so many different kinds, and what was I going to say? Oh, like the conversations around us were like, one was going to Copper, and she's going to go this weekend. One was talking about biking, and there was bikes all lined up against the fence. it's just part of like the everyday conversation here. We had that one family move here with 3 little kids, and they're always out doing something, and they say it's the best decision they made to move here just because of that lifestyle of getting out and enjoying, and it's free for the most part. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff for free outside.
Well, and beyond like free outdoor stuff, we have the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, which is an incredible zoo.
I love the zoo.
And believe it or not, it's actually a pretty good workout because there's a lot of hills and stuff over there. But there's many things that you can do, even just walking around downtown. Like, you can enjoy that year round.
Yeah. I had another really good point. What was it? I always tell my husband I have really good points. I forget what they are.
Now,
but
one thing that I love about Colorado
about
Springs is that, we've said this before, but if you're a weekend warrior, there are so many new places right around here that you can drive for even just a night stay and go experience and do. Like, you can go over to Mount Princeton to the hot springs. You can go over to Salida. If you're, we have one client who's a huge like fly fisherman, outdoor enthusiast, down by Canyon City and all of the along the river into Salida. There's so many different areas you can go to: whitewater rafting, fishing, and they're all like day trips.
Yeah.
You can go up to Granby. We're gonna go this weekend, and it's just like a quick ski trip. But there's so many unique places that you can just travel to and experience different
Just
things.
go to Boulder. I mean, there's so many places, but
you know what place I've never been?
I know you've never been to Estes Park.
Estes Park.
I know, I can't
And
believe
that's
that.
like,
I love Estes Park.
I want to try that.
There's
one.
elk everywhere. It's
And
beautiful.
moose, isn't there?
I don't
I think
well,
we have moose.
well, I've never. There's elk. Anyways, we'll see.
Okay.
There's elk, and there's probably moose. I just haven't seen one.
Did you remember your point?
Yes, I remember. And I am putting together a relocation guide. I'm almost done with it. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to have the best hikes. It's going to have our best restaurants. It's going to have neighborhoods, and every neighborhood will be hyperlinked to like a video we've done. It'll give you average home prices, what the houses look like, school districts. So if you want that, there's going to be a link below in this video. It's like a scan link, and you can download the relocation guide. I'm hoping to have it up by the time this video goes live. So it's going to be like a 20-page guide.
That, I know, is a little long-winded, but a lot of Colorado's appeal is the lifestyle.
For sure.
So we just wanted to break that down.
Yep. This ain't Texas. Our favorite taxes, and it's tax season, so we thought we'd talk about it at Hank's Club here. But there are big differences when you're coming from Texas, moving to Denver, and taxes and what that looks like.
So we're going to cover property taxes and state income tax. I think
and sales tax.
And sales tax.
So many taxes.
3 different things that I think you all should be aware of prior to considering a move. So as far as property taxes, I was actually out with clients from the
lower,
Austin area.
But there's a but in this. So explain the property tax, and I'll give them the but.
So my clients who are here from the Austin area this weekend, their home, they were virtually looking at the same price home that they're selling in Texas versus what they're trying to purchase here in Colorado. So the home in Texas that they're selling, their property taxes were over $8,000 annually.
Crazy.
So we had seen probably 20 homes this weekend, and we saw anything from believe this, $827 annually, which was super
that's
low.
Really low.
All the way to about $3,200 annually.
That's probably more average.
The majority of the properties they were looking at, because of price point, we were looking at homes like in the 1990s, 2000s, and a lot of those homes were under $2,000 annually. When we got up to like that next level, the $3,000, it was more of a newer community.
Yeah, newer communities will have higher.
A planned community, and so the tax rate was a little bit higher, but for them, in comparison to what they were paying in the Austin area, drastically lower.
Here's my but.
Okay.
My but is that Colorado does have a state income tax of 4.4%. So
is true.
you're saving. We're going to tell you like it is. Everyone's like, oh, great, no property taxes. True. But I always say they're going to get that money somewhere. And so we do have our state income tax. We're in Texas. I don't think you have any type of income
Well,
tax.
and our rate for the state income tax was 4.4%.
Yep.
So it is pretty significant, especially depending on how much you make.
Right.
But we do have that here in Colorado. One last thing I want to point out regarding taxes is the sales tax.
So if you like to shop, pay attention.
Well, and I thought this was interesting. So Colorado is drastically lower than on average for the state. So our sales tax rate on average was 2.9%. whereas the sales tax rate average over in Texas was 6.25%.
So you can shop more
so
here.
depending on how much money you spend, that could be a factor to consider.
Right. So I don't really know what else to say more about taxes besides I don't love them, but we want to give it to you like it was, and it is what it is. So we're going to move on now to something more fun, homes. We're here in another location to talk to you about our favorite part as real estate agents here in Denver is homes in land. We're going to combine these last two because we don't have another location to move to.
Well, they really go hand in hand.
They do, for sure.
So Lori has made a,
Where's my chicken?
you called it the grieving process that
Oh,
we
yeah, I forgot my
say
grieving process.
most people coming from Texas, they almost go through this little bit of a Colorado shock / grieving because what you think you're going to get versus what you're going to get, even if you do a lot of online research, you just have to go through the motions.
So we help a lot of people from out of state because of our YouTube channel. We also have a YouTube channel down in Colorado Springs. We work the whole Front Range, so check that out if you're interested in Colorado Springs as well. But I have a master's in psychology, and I always tell Kayleen, so we have clients from California who have a very different perspective than someone from Texas or, I don't know, Kansas, coming here looking for a home, what they're going to get, because they want that Colorado lifestyle, right? They've dreamed of living in Colorado. And then they come here, and I call it the 5 stages of grief. They're in denial, they're angry, they're sad, and then, finally they...
And then they come around.
Finally, the last stage of grief is coming to acceptance. They accept what they can get here in Denver for a home. So the average home price here in Denver is $560 compared to Austin's close. If you're in Austin, you can be...
It's about
somewhat
similar.
the same
as far as home
expectations.
prices go.
It's $525. So a little bit less. If you're coming from Houston and you're paying $262 on average per...
You're going to be shocked.
...an average home, you're going to be shocked coming to Denver. Dallas, $430-ish is your average home price compared to $580. And actually what you can get for that is different, especially when it comes to land.
Well, and I will say just aesthetically, Colorado homes are very, very different than Texas. Our partner that does a lot of business down in the Houston area, he does these videos and they're incredible homes, and he's like, this is what you can get for $350,000, and we're like, there's nothing we can do to make our $350,000 home, if we even have a $350,000 home, aesthetic. And so what Colorado is, and especially the Denver area, there is, especially inner city, older homes, you'll get a lot of 50s ranch homes. Then you'll go to certain areas where they're kind of that tri-level, hate them or not, that's just for certain areas what there is. And then you can get newer homes. There's definitely little pockets throughout the city, but more so on the outskirts. More North Denver, a little bit more towards the airport. You can get a little bit newer homes, but there's always a caveat, always a little bit of give and take. You most likely, if you go newer, your tax rate's going to be a little bit higher. You're probably going to have a little bit less land than some of the older homes, but it's really hard to have it all unless you have a super hefty budget in the Denver area.
She was showing homes in the 500s this weekend, and it's homes from the 1980s. 3,200 square feet.
Yes, but I will say we were looking at areas that had super easy access to the outdoors. That weighed out more important. They wanted a nice home. They wanted a move-in ready home, but they didn't necessarily want to give up the lifestyle for the home. And so we found a really good option. I think we went through 20 homes in one weekend, and you're exactly right. They went through a little bit of a grieving process. By day 2, she came back. She said, I think I was a little bit more closed off. Now I'm a little bit more open-minded. And then she was saying, just the look of the house, I would have never wanted to go into these, but now that she kind of knew an area, she was open to different homes in certain areas. And so it's just a process. We do this all the time. Because we do YouTube, we get a ton of business people out of state. And so I think we're patient. We listen to what you are looking for, and I make suggestions, Lori makes suggestions, but we also let you just kind of go through the process, because we can rip the Band-Aid off, that's fine, but you're gonna think there has to be something else out there, and there really is no diamond in the rough.
And if you want more land, You know, Colorado Springs is a little bit cheaper, not a ton. Don't expect to get land out there. Maybe for $1 million, you could get maybe an acre a little bit outside of Colorado Springs.
You can go up to Greeley, Brighton,
yeah,
that
still
area.
Gonna pull a good, you know, it just depends what your expectations are and what you want to do with that land. But at the same time, you were showing those homes. I was showing a client a home from the West Coast.
Oh yeah.
And they, you know, trying to stay under 1.4, and we're really looking on the outskirts, northern Denver area for something that will come close to that. And so that's kind of the budget you need to pull some decent land here in the Colorado, especially the Denver area, I would say.
So I would say in general though, Colorado just appeals because of the weather. We are somewhat similar to some parts in Texas as far as home pricing goes, but you really can't beat the weather, the lifestyle. Yeah. And I just encourage you, if you're thinking of making the move, come out, go for a visit. Lori and I help people just like you all the time. Don't just wander around aimlessly. Yeah. We want you to give us a call.
Was showing homes this weekend. She was showing it to the client who was actually in town from Texas, ironically, and this lady came up to her and she's like,
she literally said, "Can I jump in on your showings?" I was like, "Who are you? Are you another agent?"
Like, "I know you from YouTube." And I was like, that was so weird.
Whoa.
So
I was
random.
like, "Call Lori."
I know. I was like, "Just call us. We'll set you up when you're here." You know, let us
give
know
you actual addresses and more of a guided tour. We don't have to be there with you if you just want that freedom to kind of
And I think a lot of people are kind of figuring out if this is a lifestyle they want or if this is a move they want to make. It's a big decision to move from any state to another state. And I was like, just give us a call or text. We'll help you at least when you're here, not to just wander around the whole area of Denver.
Well, we have an amazing guide that Lori's put together. And then we also have a list of like our local favorites. And so if you're interested in that list, make sure and reach out. But we love to help you guys. Don't feel like you know, we aren't sure if we're moving here yet. It's all right. We'll just figure it out. That's part of our job. That's what we do. We're good at it. We'll set you up on that guided tour to just do yourself if that's what you would like. Or if you'd like to see some homes while you're over here, we'd love to help out that way as well.
So put those numbers in your phone. Give us a call or text, as we said, anytime. We'd love to help you make that move here to Colorado from Texas.